The world is rapidly changing nowadays, and we are ready for challenges. We present you a new project which begins a new era in the pharmaceutical industry. The beginning of the era of biotechnology and digital transformation. Science, education, industry, in one ecosystem. From a pharmaceutical cluster to a technopolis. International hub, the center of knowledge and advanced technologies. Investment from $800 million. The total area of the cluster, 1,900,000 square meters. Scientific research complex, over 14,000 square meters. Clinical trial center, over 70,000 square meters. Laboratories, over 33,000 square meters. University, over 45,000 square meters. Vivarium, 8,000 square meters. Social infrastructure, over 130,000 square meters. Industrial zone, over 1,600,000 square meters. Tashkent Pharma Park is the valley of innovations.
Thank you. Now we have a presentation, if you don't mind. I'll just go through presentation and I'll be sharing some details of Tashkent Pharma Park. What is Tashkent Pharma Park? It's a cluster. I can tell you clearly that it's a flagman of pharmaceutical industry in Central Asia. Yeah, you might challenge me with many questions. Why do you call this as a flagman? Because there might be other clusters. We have also free economic zones where you can find several manufacturing sites. But now I'll go through and you will understand why is it called the flagman. Actually, I have been through many different pharmaceutical clusters. Last week I was in Singapore. Before that I was in South Korea. I was in China, in Suzhou, called BioBay, the cluster. So I have seen several clusters already. What is unique about our cluster? I couldn't find such cluster that we have today. The uniqueness of our cluster is the government is also sitting together with manufacturing and R&D and university. In China, you don't find the government sitting next to them. They have an administration office. They are just doing administrative tasks. But the government as a regulatory body or agency or GXP center, they are not sitting all together. That's the advantage that we will have in our cluster, where the government will be very, very close to the manufacturing. It will be very close to the R&D center. It will be very close to universities. So basically, all aspects of this supply chain is connected and they will be supporting, and there will be a huge synergy from this connection. If you go through master plan of our cluster, so today we have an administrative building that I'll go through again. This will be built within this year, and then we'll be moving to the administration building in August. And then we have also laboratory blocks A and B. There will be the laboratory of our regulatory body, which is Farm Committee, and we will also have laboratories for our big R&D center, and so we'll have university, we'll have ICT center, and we will have the manufacturing sites for pharmaceutical products and biotech products. And that's one new thing is in January within this year, our president has signed a decree. 60 hectares has been given to biotech cluster. This is also another, you can say, a big step towards the development of the industry. So far, Uzbekistan has been putting a lot of effort on the future. We have to start taking certain action. We have to start taking some steps in order to also advance, and we have to also catch up the trends. And here is the principle. As I said, you have a training of pharmaceutical specialists. This is the university. We're building a Tashkent Technical Pharmaceutical University where we'll have 4,000 of graduates, and we'll have a research scientific center. Today, within agency, we have 3 institutes who are doing R&D activities. Going forward, we will be merging them, and we will not stop there. I think the biggest failure of R&D in CIS countries, it's always financed by the budget, by the government. And a lot of people, they have still an idea that the government has to finance R&D. Yeah, but in Europe, it's vice versa. In the beginning, government supports, but later it's private sector who is taking care of all this R&D. Basically, all the institutes, they're financed by also private sector, they're financing it, and then basically all these R&D centers are profitable. But in our case, you find in many cases that our R&D centers are very unprofitable. Basically, they're always sitting in the loss, and they're always a burden. So now we have to look into how we can change this concept, how we can make these R&D institutes profitable. But for that matter, we have been talking to different private companies, and we're trying to attract them. And we want to set up not just R&D institute, which belongs 100% to the agency, but we're thinking of setting up a joint stock company where private sector can come, and they can also invest, and they can make money out of it. You know, Central Asia is not a small area. It's 120 million population. It's not small. Of course, if you compare it to China, maybe it's small, but within its region, it's very unique, and it's 120 million people. If you compare it to Europe, it's quite a big region. So we have, as I said, research center, then we have pilot productions. We have already working on many different projects. I will go through how many projects as of now we have. And then we have, again, the industrial manufacturing, including the logistics. We have a 3PL logistics, which means it will be manufactured and later it will be also distributed. So we're trying to cover all aspects of the supply chain. Here we go. Today, actually, we have 12 projects. We have 2 new projects which are not here, I can see. You can see 10 of them. It's 427 million, or 430 million almost. And you can see how many working places. It's 2,677 working places it will be providing. And 5 of them are mobilized. If you would ask me in December last year, I would tell you only 2 companies are working. It's Grand Pharma and it's Loves. There are 2 companies working. But today there are 5 of them are already working. So we have managed to mobilize many of them. And by the end of May, there will be 10 companies. They will be doing the construction activity by the end of the May. So 5 of them, they're active, they're doing the project. Now there are some approval processes and expertise, etc. So by the end of the May, we will be able to see a lot of trucks going there and doing a lot of construction activity. And that's what we want. And so I can say another 2 projects are coming. One of them is Alpha One. We have signed a contract with them for 39 million. And Farhad, I can see he's also sitting. He's the investor from United Arab Emirates. And we have another one, which is Dora Line for 17 million. So it's going quite well. And here you can see there are biotech products as well. Like you can see Hayama Tech, they'll be producing like albumin and immunoglobulin. These are also biotech products. And you can also see some of the devices that will be produced. But we don't want to limit ourselves to only pharmaceutical products. There will be also some cosmetic products. And we have already started looking into the companies from South Korea. As you know, South Korea is right now, well, people say they're number 3. Actually, they're already overtaking France, so they're almost number 2 in the world. They have been progressing quite well, so that's why we have been visiting some companies, Samsung Biologics and other companies we have been visiting, and we're also trying to attract and put them together in one big location. Administrative building. So here you can see the administrative building that will be built by the end of August, so we'll be moving in. So in this administration building, we will have our agency. Our agency is also growing slowly and slowly. We're having a lot of new departments, and we're taking a lot of responsibilities on ourselves just to promote the industry. It goes faster. So like working up on the standards, and there are other things. Later I will disclose all the information. But then we have also Center for Good Practice. It's a GXP center will also be located. It's also expanding because we have a lot of tasks ahead of us about GPP, GDP, GLP, GCP. All of them will be carried out by them. And we have the directorate for the cluster. They'll be taking care of all the manufacturing sites that are functioning correctly, or if they need any support in terms of infrastructure, they'll be also supporting. And we have also startups and incubators located there. And there is another important body. It's a regulatory body. It's a Farm Committee. They'll also be sitting in the same building. We didn't put it because in the next slide they're also coming. Because here you can see there are 2 other blocks. This building is also built, but only inside renovation or the furnishment is still pending, and we're planning to complete it by March next year. There we will have, in the Block A, basically R&D center will be sitting. As I said, 3 of the institutes will be merged into one. And we will also have a private company. We're already talking to a private company, and there we found an interested parties who are willing to join this journey together with us. And this building will be equipped fully together with the private partner. And we're later I'll also disclose we're also having some other activities like setting up the clinic, and we will be also doing a lot of CRO activities together with our private partner. And then we have also Block B. What you see, the Block B is actually belonging to Pharmkomitet. It's our regulation body. Basically, they'll be doing a lot of activities in terms of certification and registration. We have a preclinic research center. This is Vivarium. That's also where we are focusing on. As of today, we can say we have many of them, but they're very small scaled, and we cannot export such activities. When I have been talking to our R&D people from, we call it Akademia Nauk, it's a scientific academy, and they were asking me to finance their activities, and they want to do such activity, for example, outside of Uzbekistan, in Europe and other countries, just because they're saying the high standards are not here in Central Asia yet. So that's where we're putting a lot of effort to bring this vivarium to the very high standards, so we don't need to go outside to do preclinical research, but we have to do it here, and we should be also exporting such services to other countries. And if you ask me, how do you plan to export such services? We have been already in talk, for example, with BioBay. BioBay is the biggest biotech cluster in Suzhou. It's in China. They have 600 residents, and 95% of the company actually is owned by Chinese people who were raised up in US and very successful people. So they have a very, very success story. So when we were talking to them, they say they would like to have services provided as such in Central Asia as well. So then we have been already setting up some integration. We could do a lot of activities, not only like a preclinical, but clinical research as well in the 3rd phase. And next one is our pharmaceutical university. This technical university is also a special case. We are not looking only into pharmaceutical industry here. When we were talking to South Korea, South Korea is saying, there is a Professor No, he's very famous in biotech in South Korea. He said one interesting thing. He said they have been investing 30 years in biotech, and that's why they have been, achieved so much, results. But they said they made a big mistake in the beginning. What they did was they were gathering a lot of biotech people or the pharmacologists, and they put them together and they asked them to develop different original products. In the beginning, it wasn't successful. The reason was it's only pharmacologists. But if you really want to develop a new original product, you have to put different specialists. You should cover different aspects. What he's saying is definitely pharmacologist, definitely chemist, definitely biologist, toxicology, and even IT. Today, IT is becoming the 5th pillar of this, you can say, the synergy. Why? It's because of artificial intelligence. I think you know that in biotech, basically you are developing the big molecules, and actually through AI, you can do modeling. There are already companies who are doing a lot of success because of this AI. So we have to look into all these different pillars, and we have to put them together in order to develop. That's a reason what we are doing in this university, not only like pharmacology related subjects, but there will be in IT, there will be in chemistry, and there will be in biology. So we have to put them all together. So eventually they can go to R&D center. So from the beginning, they can integrate themselves into R&D activities, and then later they can expose themselves to the manufacturing activities. So there will be a lot of activities where synergy will happen in this specific area. And as you can see, we are doing this activity today with South Korea. It has been financed by Exim Bank, 83.7 million US dollars. And this university will be providing UK diploma. So we are cooperating, or we have a partnership agreement with Sunderland University and De Montfort University. And when we were visiting South Korea, we managed to convince them to also get a diploma from Yonsei University. Yonsei University in South Korea, it's #2 university. It's one of the top universities in the world. And normally they don't provide a diploma outside of South Korea. And you know that I think in pharmacology, you are not getting a diploma of one university outside of the country. It's always local. But after our ambition, when they found out what we are trying to achieve, there has been some kind of success. Little story with them. They kind of agreed that they would like to give their diploma in that university. And the clinical research, as I said, if you look into all Central Asia, do we really provide today CRO services? I don't know. I don't think we're providing. I have been asking many people. Yeah, they said local, like they're locally providing to some small companies, but globally we are not providing. And we have been talking to big companies, the largest companies actually in the world, IQVIA, and what they have been doing. And they are the most successful company who has been doing this activities, CRO services. So we have already exposed ourselves to them, and we have been discussing what we can do. And the idea is to set up or to build this clinic either with Exim Bank or with another private company. Eventually, we also want to deliver CRO services to other partners around the world. That's how we start integrating ourselves to different research centers, different companies. It's always needed. You know, in phase 3, you always do local clinical research. So in Central Asia, that should be that will be the biggest one. And so that's why I know we're putting a lot of effort to speed it up. And we have already been talking to the big players in the market. And what we got, an answer is, it's a positive answer. They'd like to cooperate, and they'd like to do their phase 3 CRO activities in Uzbekistan. So there are a few statistics, just a few statistics. It will be 250 beds. It's a multidisciplinary hospital, and 60 of the beds will be used for CRO activities, and the others will be just normal multidisciplinary hospital. And because it will eventually also cover its own costs, and we're planning to bring a lot of R&D people and then the specialists from other countries. So we are not only developing on ourselves, but we are already integrating to different countries and different centers. And last but not least, what is the advantage of this cluster? If you're an investor, you're always looking for an opportunity. The first thing you want to look into is market. Do you have a market, right? And next, you start looking into law, whether it works or not. The legal base works. Do you really own it or not, right? And third thing is, it could be financing, or later you could say you could find a partnership on exporting operation, et cetera, et cetera. When we talk about the markets, market is not small. As I said, 120 million. And another thing is we also have 300 million market, which is CIS countries. Uzbekistan has a very strong relationship with all CIS countries. It's historical like that. And we still keep this relationship with all of them. And we will still, we will keep on working on that. So today, if you're importing more, then we will also exporting more, because trade should be fair. I think everybody understands these days. And we always put this requirement in front of the country when we are opposing. For example, if Russia or Belarus, when they are coming and they say, we want to export to you. And my first question is, okay, I want to export to you too, because there should be a trade fair, the fair trade. There should be some kind of exchange. So, but in order to do that, we have to also manufacture very high quality products. It should be also living up to their standards, not only my standards. So we have also mentioning a lot to all the manufacturers, there is no compromise when it comes to quality in the pharmaceutical product. So quality is the most important. If you really want to make to the global level, we cannot compromise on the quality. The quality should be the most important thing. That's why we have been working on different tactics. Very soon we will be implementing post-marketing and the risk analysis, and we will be doing auditing processes. Through post-marketing, we will be also checking the quality, and we will be using USP standards. So we'll be comparing to USP standards. This way, we will slowly pushing local companies so they're also living up to the high standard, and we can also do export operations. Then, of course, we have to support in export operations as well, and that's also what we do. As an agency, we're a catalyst. So your business works very fast and you are profitable, and then you can go to other market and you can just conquer other markets. And that's also what we do. So quickly, the advantages. Land tax will not be paid for 10 years if you're investing more than 10 million. Property tax will not be paid, exempted. Water usage tax, exempted. And customs payment for construction is exempted, so you are not paying any customs. And custom payments for imported technological equipment, also exempted. Custom payments for raw materials. So state registration for certificate is on perpetual basis. You will not be re-registering. We used to have 5-year registration. After that, we have to again apply. But going forward, it will be on perpetual basis. Once you register it, then it's done. And 50% of the transportation costs related to export operation will be reimbursed by the government. And 75% of the registration cost related to export is also reimbursed by the government. And the land is very cheap. And actually, some of you heard the news yesterday. In Uzbekistan, we were allowed to give the land for 49 years for local investors. But for foreign investors, it was up to 25 years. But yesterday, our president also announced it is 49 years going forward for foreign investors as well. That's a very good news. I know some companies like Avantika. This is also Indian company. They were asking to extend it. Why can't we make 49 years? Here you go. So our president, announced yesterday. I think that's a very good news for him. So I think there are a lot of advantages. And when you compare the land price, we were in China and other countries. When we start asking the price, they say it's skyrocket. But in our case, the land, 1 hectare land is only $20,000 first year, and next year you pay around $2,000-3,000 rent. So you can say in 25 years you don't even pay $100,000. But if you go and buy yourself, then you end up paying around $5 million per hectare. So there's a huge saving in the land on its own. And then there are other savings you can make from the electricity cost is cheaper, the water price is cheaper, electricity is around 7 cents, and then gas is around 12 cents. So if you compare it to other countries, it's way cheaper. And then salary is, everybody says salary is not a key anymore because it's a technology, it's producing millions and zillions of them. So, but then still, salary is cheaper if you compare it to other developed countries. It's around $400 or $500. So here is the process how you apply. Basically, you have to prepare your business plan, and you have to send it to us, and we have the expertise. We're just checking through scientific committee, and we will approve it, and then further we can sign the contract, and you can start setting up your manufacturing site. And of course, if you have some challenges, you might say, I need a partner. Then we're also, as an agency, we're trying to find a partner to put you together so you can proceed. If you want local partner, it's also good because local partner knows the local market. And then you can also call us and it will also help on that. That's it from my side. Thank you very much. If you have any other questions, you are welcome to ask. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Abdullah Azizov. It was such a great presentation. Tashkent Pharma Cluster is definitely a beacon of collaboration and innovation in the realm of pharmaceuticals. Now I would like to introduce our esteemed residents. The first one is Alpha One Pharmaceutical Company. It's a subsidiary company of the RG Group from the United Arab Emirates. On behalf of the company, today we are joined by Mr. Farhat Fazal, the head of the project management. Please, Mr. Farhat.
Yep. Assalamu alaikum, everybody. And let me start with Bismillah ar-Rahman. As mentioned, my name is Farhat Fazal. I'm representing Alpha One Pharmaceutical. Alpha One Pharmaceutical is a UAE-based company with subsidiary of RG groups of companies in Dubai, where with 100% shareholding from RG. RG goes under Ocean Group, a worldwide company investing in real estate development, investing in pharmaceutical industry, business, having finance equity, and as well fuel trading. Here, what we have from Alpha One here in Uzbekistan, let me first, on behalf of Alpha One Pharmaceutical, on behalf of Ocean Group, let me say appreciation and thanks to all pharma agency colleagues, especially Mr. Azizov, Mr. Sanjar, Nazrab, and Nazakat, and some others that maybe I missed the names here. So they did a lot with us, they supported here. Alpha One Pharmaceutical is a project will be with a total investment of $37.9 million in a 4 years project. So This project, we are basically concentrating on both export and import in this country. We are trying to have 44 to 48% localization. Apart from that, we are trying to target CIS countries such as Afghanistan as a main market for us, Tajikistan, Turkmenistan, and Kyrgyzstan has a main market for our Alpha 1 project. Here we, on behalf of Alpha 1, I can announce that we are going to open 500 new jobs for local people in Uzbekistan. We are out of this 500 people that we are going to hire in 4 years project. Only 25% of these local people will be from international. Rest all will be from inside Uzbekistan. So the total project will be 37.8 million. We are going to concentrate into the production of LVP, SVP, and production of high-tech drugs such as new generation molecules, new generation of biotechnological enzyme, preparation of product, and research institute drugs. So basically, we are, as Alpha 1, we are concentrating both on production as well as new innovation in research development in Uzbekistan. So we find Uzbekistan as a big opportunity and a good platform for investing in CIS countries. The total products which we are going to do, or the molecules which we are going to manufacture, you can see in the list that we are going to have LVP, infusions, SVP, solid dosage forms, liquid dosage forms, dry powder forms, topical preparation, and also, since as I mentioned that we are not only concentrating in Uzbekistan, in local market, we are going to have to export to other countries as well. You can see the total volume of the production in per year that we are going to have. 9 million production of infusions per year, 21 million of ampoules per year, which is a huge investment in Uzbekistan, and I hope this way we can help and we can grow here as well. Just only what I can do, Alpha 1 Pharmaceutical has an experience of production in Netherlands as well in Afghanistan. But what happened in Afghanistan during last 2-3 years, so we completely stopped our production there, and we are now, our main market and our main concentration is in Uzbekistan. So, this is the 3 hectares plot which we received from Alpha 1, from Pharma Agency, and the project will be in Pharma Park. Here you can see the proper way of planning our project. We are not only concentrating on pharmaceutical innovations. Here, the way that we are going to construct the project of this, the construction of this project will be composite building structure, which is completely a new technology in Uzbekistan. The construction in will be monitored and managed by one of the biggest consultancy in India, who has done experience of lots of projects, not only in CIS countries, they have in UAE and they have in America as well. All of our standards in productions will be in line with GMP and local standards in Uzbekistan. So you can see here all the buildings which we have here. We have the general block, we have the sterile block, we have the R&D, we have a cafeteria, we have administration building, we have quality control, and everything is based on the GMP EU standards. So at the first stage, we are going with the GMP standard, but what we are going in as a further planning, in future plan for the accreditation, it will be local GMP, UK, Australia, WHO, FDA, all we are going to have the accreditation of all these in our production. Inshallah, that we will start at the first phase, as we committed in the next 2 years, and the next phase will be in another 4 years, inshallah. So this will be the summary of our project. We will make 500 job opportunities during the production. 475 people will be local, 25 people will be specialists from outside Uzbekistan. This is only job opportunities that we are making in Uzbekistan market while we are starting the production. However, with 37.98 million, while we are doing the construction of the project, we are making a huge market for the laborers, local laborers, and engineering experts from inside Uzbekistan. So the management of the project, managing of the project will be done through international experts who has experience of working in different countries, especially in Gulf countries and as well in CIS countries. The head of the production, I'm sure that the Pharma Park colleagues will know this, that Dr. Sanjeev Kohli will manage, and he will be the head of the production from India with more than 30 years experience, and also head of the sales and marketing. We have Mr. Sayyid Qadir Hussain. He is also an Indian with experience of more than 20 years in America, UAE, Europe. And also head of our CFO will be Mr. Tajamal Rashid. He is a Pakistani, withholding Pakistani nationality, having more than 25-year experience in UAE, Europe, and as well in US. And the development of the project will be managed by myself with more than 15 years experience with the United Nations. Thank you very much, and really appreciate Mr. Azil for all the supports that you have done till date. Hope that we will have the integration after 2 years, and the next step after 4 years, in June 2028. Thank you. Any question?
Thank you, Mr. Farhat Fazal. Our next speaker is our esteemed resident of Tashkent Pharma Park Cluster, Mr. Konstantin Glubakovsky, the director of Haematech Uzbekistan, a leading enterprise specializing in the construction of blood products plant and plasma centers network in the Republic of Uzbekistan. Please, Mr. Konstantin.
Добрый день, уважаемые.
Good afternoon, dear colleagues. I will be presenting a project that's being implemented on the territory of the Tashkent Pharma Park for the construction of blood products plant and plasma centers network in the Republic of Uzbekistan. In short, on the blood products, what's that? Currently, plasma-derived medical products include 21 products. The mass used include immunoglobulin, albumin, and coagulation factor, FV3 and FI4. The demand for these products is increasing year by year, and the reason is the global sickness with this kind of the diseases, and respectively the expenditures for procurement of such medical products and drugs is increasing too. The main producers of these products are top 5 players in pharmaceuticals. They basically distribute quarterly the production, first of all providing it for country of origin population, and the rest to the clients and people of other countries. Immunoglobulin is used for hematology, oncology diseases, rheumatology. Albumin is used for burns, shocks, poly diseases, major surgeries, complications, and coagulation factors are used for the patients with hemophilia. At the moment, the global annual deficit of blood products, considering that people are the paid donors, is more than 30 million liters. And today, we can say that US supplies more than 70% of all world plasma. It is also important to note that countries that all have a closed cycle of collecting raw materials like plasma, blood as pharmaceutical liquids and production of the drugs includes 5 countries of the Western Europe, in addition to US and China. At the territory of CIS countries, this kind of system that supports itself is not at place. Currently, Russia is importing 70% of all demanded plasma. What is blood product consumption around the world? Of course, it depends on the economic status of the country, because this kind of the products are procured by the government budget, level of medical care, which is a matter of qualifications of medical doctors on prescribing this kind of treatment, and the ability and capacity of the medical institutions. Development of blood plasma donation, which I already mentioned, availability of production capacity, and of course relevant legislative framework that provides the producers of the blood to use and prepare raw materials for their own use. At the territory of CIS countries, as in many other developing countries, collection of the blood plasma is prohibited, so the producers of this kind of drugs are not allowed to collect raw materials for their own use. In Uzbekistan, 95% of blood products are imported, and the usage of albumin is less than 12%. Compared to Western countries and the USA. In the next slide, you can see the worldwide plasma donation market. Depending on the country population and our plans, while the implementation of the investment project for 1,000 people, collection of plasma should take the third place. Key goals of the investment project include the construction of blood products manufacturing plant, creating network of centers certified according to the EU standards for the collection of human blood plasma, and the creation of centralized reference clinical diagnostic laboratory for examination of donors and donor blood plasma that will allow for the PCR tests. The implementation of this kind of a project requires formation not only of the normative legislative base, but also medical foundation in the country, because basically we are now trying to form a sub-area of pharmaceutical production and industry in Uzbekistan. At the moment, we've signed an investment agreement with Tashkent Pharma Park in November 2022. In November 2023, a new draft law on donorship was adopted, and it allows the manufacturers to collect blood plasma for fractionation by the blood products. It was all initiated by the President of the Republic of Uzbekistan, who approved an order that allowed to review previous law and develop a new draft. And it was an important decision by the leader of the country, and it was a big step for a country at the CIS region level. Draft order of the Cabinet of Ministers was signed in April 2024. The design documentation for draft orders were developed by the Ministry of Health, as well as the new documentation was designed for the freezer warehouse, and procurement by the Chinese plants was created. and we began the creation of the plasma centers network development. The main points include that manufacturing plant is not an easy thing, especially considering that the manufacturers of this kind of the products is unique, and our colleagues worldwide do not share their experiences easily. One of the big challenges include that fact of the preparation of a raw material, which is the basic main issue. And it is important to create a system of the reward for the qualified donors, for those people who are always at the centers and provide blood on regular basis and undergo all the required tests. Can we please go back to my slides? Not video, but the slides, PPT slides, because I haven't finished yet. Okay, I see it now. Good. So, plasma centers network include the donor reward, certain conditions for the plasma preparation that differ from the government system and from the system of the blood preparation and its components. It is obviously a two-stage method for the blood-borne infections that include serological tests and PCR tests. It includes quite strict rules and conditions for the freezing and storage, including shock freezing of the plasma, and subsequent transportation with very strict requirements for the storage. Obviously, the manufacturing plant itself, with the capacity of 500 tons, in addition, at the next step of additional 500 tons of processing per year, that will include blood products, albumin, immunoglobulin, coagulation factors, 8-4, fibrinogen, and prosthothrombin factor. Cooperation with the blood service is also important for us. It is a propaganda of the donorship and blood donation, which is widespread in Europe, and plasma donors who always undergo tests, and once a year they test their blood. In conclusion, own manufacture of blood products is a matter of a national security, and that's the reason why many countries started thinking of it more seriously. In the Republic of Uzbekistan, with a population of more than 37 million people, it is necessary to create a system for the preparation of blood plasma, as well as a network of plasma centers and a plant for manufacturing. Our Republic's capacity provides for the provision to the population with its own blood products, as well as the preparation, storage, and testing of donor plasma should be in accordance with the international standards, including the European standards, US standards, and in general, the current laws and legislation of the Republic of Uzbekistan meets these requirements. Thank you for your attention. I'm here to answer any of your questions.
We have 10 minutes left, and let me introduce our final speaker, Mr. Matyokup Turabayev, the Director of Grand Logistic Hub.
For now, Uzbekistan is a rapidly developing country in Central Asia with a population of more than 35 million people. For centuries, Uzbekistan has been an integral part of the Great Silk Road that connected Asia and Europe. In 2020, the stage opened a new era in the pharmaceutical industry through the launch of the innovative Tashkent Pharma Cluster project. bring to your attention the largest in Central Asia international pharmaceutical logistics center, Grand Logistics, located on Tashkent Pharma Park. A modern and innovative Grade A pharmaceutical logistics center includes customs warehouses, 12,000 square meters, cold storage warehouses, 3,600 square meters, main storage areas, 68,000 square meters. Also on the territory of Grand Logistics, there is its own car park, administrative buildings, canteens, transformer substation, garage, a generator complex for providing uninterrupted power supply, as well as reservoirs for providing water to hub infrastructure, and an apart hotel for guests. Full automation of the center's activities occurs due to the implemented SAP system, which provides 24/7 control. Compliance with GTP standards ensures the high quality of long-term storage and transportation of goods to their destination. Grand Logistics is an international hub where it is possible to import goods from manufacturers from all over the world. Foreign companies are also given the opportunity to temporarily storage in the customs territory, with subsequent re-export to other countries by destination. The center will assist local manufacturers in the export of domestic pharmaceutical products to the countries of Central Asia and neighboring countries on favorable terms. Upon receipt of the goods, a visual inspection for damage or packaging violation takes place. Then the product is assigned a unique ID number, which allow you to get complete information about the product in the database. After assigning an ID, the program independently determines goods location in the warehouse, and the goods are transported to their temporary storage location. Warehouses have special ventilation systems for storing goods in accordance with GDP standards. This standard is also used for transporting and tracking goods online. High business standards, partnerships with more than 500 foreign and 400 local companies using accumulated knowledge and experience contribute to the stable growth of the logistics center. To ensure smooth operation, the company plans to increase its staff to 1,200 people. Grand Logistics. Trust us with your time and safety.
Добрый день, уважаемые.
Good evening, dear ladies and gentlemen. We are glad to present our presentation. The main our activities are warehousing and logistics services. With us, I think that you can work with us because we have many advantages. We have a good, comfortable location, geographical location. We have a custom logistic facilities, pharmaceutical product storage system, distribution services, and we are providing offices, hotels for accommodation. And at the second phase, we are planning to introduce production of the pharmaceutical product. If you allow me, Abdullah, if you support us in this idea, we already ready to start production of the pharmaceutical products in our sphere. You already got your permission. Okay, we are ready, and the first stage is already finalized. By the end of the third quarter, we will be able to start the next phase. You are invited. All companies are invited to work with us, and we are ready to provide all support and facilities you need. Thank you very much for your attention. I'll be glad to answer on your questions.
Before we adjourn, you have the opportunity to ask your questions. If you need some information, please don't hesitate to ask.
Вы сказали, что EPC девелопер уже у вас определен, то есть вы его определили, но пока еще нет инвестиций, правильно?
Ну, у нас мы проект ведем уже 2 года, и инвестиции, конечно же, уже есть. EPC-подрядчик.
And we mean the manufacturers, and the manufacturing plant is a part of the project because the lab has already been established, it received a license, and the network of the plasma centers we already put up together, and we piloted this part. So it's currently a pilot plasma center. The manufacturing plant is currently in the process of the project preparation, and then we will move to the equipment procurement and delivery.
If you have any additional question, you can ask, please.
Подскажите, пожалуйста, вот вы рассказали по поводу ташкентского хаб, да, который, да. А что насчет регионов в Узбекистане? Вы отвечаете как бы за только за ташкентский или в целом по Узбекистану? Можно, пожалуйста, чуть больше информации об этом? Спасибо.
Спасибо большое за вопрос. Мы ответственны по всему.
Thank you very much for the question. We are responsible for entire region, for all provinces. We have 147 projects for $1.9 million in Andijan, Namangan, Tashkent region, Bustanlik, Parkent, and Jizak regions. We are also developing these services in all provinces in specific directions. We have specializations by provinces. In some provinces, we are focusing on, for example, buds production, like supplements production, or medical plants production, and so on. In some regions, we are focusing on drug production, medical drugs production. So our president has assigned us to develop pharmaceutical industry in all provinces of Uzbekistan. We're helping all of them.
Left.
I can say everybody's happy, so everything is clear. Большое спасибо за то, что пришли. Если вопросы есть, конечно, мы...
Thank you very much for your participation. Of course, if you have questions informally, we have discussed them during coffee break. What I can say, if this investor, potential investor, people are always trying to find right time, right place. I think Uzbekistan is this kind of place.
In 2 years, I can say late, but you can still invest in different sectors, including pharmaceutical. But it will be a little bit challenging because the bigger companies, now we're also focusing on big pharmas. We're not limiting ourselves like smaller, like sites, but also big companies. So there will be a lot of activities going forward, and we kindly ask you to participate in this activity and then be very proactive. Thank you very much.
Once again, I want to extend my gratitude to each of our participants, and thank you for the information. Oh, attention, I'm sorry.